Okay, we've gone deep into the cosmic pre-density physics of all this. We've talked about the informational boot, the superfluid, the torus, the handshake protocol. It sounds beautiful, but I can hear the skeptic in you saying, okay, this sounds like a gorgeous fairy tale or some high-level abstract science fiction.
It can feel very detached from reality.
What does this have to do with me paying my mortgage and dealing with rush hour traffic? But this is where Dr. Gamble bridges this tier zero architecture directly to your physical body, sitting right where you are today.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the most profound takeaway from Dr. Gamble's work is not just that this perfect architecture existed billions of years ago in some distant past. It is that it still exists right now.
Right this very second.
You are still running this exact tier zero toroidal hardware this very second. It may be heavily obscured by the density, the gravity, and the entropic exhaustion of our current experience, but the original blueprints are still active within you.
You still have master.exe running in the background of your biology. Dr. Gamble calls the physical evidence of this the somatic ledger. Your body remembers.
The cells remember.
Your nervous system is carrying the physical sensations, the sovereign recall, that prove this source code is still functioning. This is the emotional climax of all this data. Let's talk about how to actually read that somatic ledger in your everyday life. Have you ever experienced a sensation that Dr. Gamble refers to as blood bubbling?
Now, to be clear, this isn't a medical condition or literal boiling blood. It is a very specific, intense somatic sensation. Have you ever had a moment, maybe deep in meditation or listening to a breathtaking piece of music or standing in absolute awe on the edge of the Grand Canyon, where you feel a sudden, inexplicable sense of infinite expansion?
A feeling of immense space.
Where it physically feels like your blood is vibrating or humming or bubbling with an energy that is far larger than your physical frame.
Yes. It is that feeling where your chest feels like it's opening up, you suddenly feel completely boundless, and your body actually gets hot or tingly with the sheer voltage of the experience. It feels like you are expanding past your skin.
A somatic breakthrough.
Dr. Gamble explains that this is not a hallucination. It's not just an adrenaline rush or a quirk of brain chemistry. That physical sensation is your biological hardware accessing the fractal backup of the Big Bang.
It is the system booting up for a microsecond.
That is your inner toroidal vortex spinning up, recognizing its own infinite power, and momentarily handshaking with the infinite potential of tier zero.
Your body is literally remembering its pre-density state. It is remembering what it felt like to have mass without weight. Another incredibly profound entry in the somatic ledger is what we can call the thirst for unity.
This one really hits home.
Look at human behavior. Every single human being has this deep, profound psychological and emotional craving for instant, frictionless connection. We long to be perfectly understood by our partners without having to use clumsy, inadequate words. We long for a love that has no boundaries.
Exactly. And Track B psychology will cynically tell you that this is just a survival instinct. They'll say it's just a herd mentality we developed so we wouldn't get eaten by lions on the savannah.
A biological imperative.
But look at it through the lens of tier zero. That thirst for unity isn't just a human emotional need or a survival tactic. It is a literal, tangible hardware memory of swimming in the frictionless, telepathic primordial waters.
You are homesick for the superfluid.
Yes. You miss the superfluid. Your soul remembers what it was like to be instantly entangled with the entire gestalt, and it is terribly homesick for that perfect zero-resistance connection.
We are constantly experiencing the severe friction of modern communication. The painful misunderstandings, the deep isolation, the vast distances between us, and our internal hardware is constantly signaling that this is not our original state.
It knows better.
It knows at a subatomic level that we were built for instantaneous resonant handshakes, not for feeling alone in a crowded room.
And finally, let's look at the static hum. I want you to consider the sound you hear in moments of absolute dead silence. Imagine being alone in a quiet room late at night.
When the world just stalks.
When there are no cars driving by, no appliances humming, no wind outside. Often people hear a faint, high-pitched ringing or a subtle static in their ears.
Again, Track B science might quickly dismiss this as simple tinnitus or random meaningless nerve noise, but within the tier zero framework, that static hum is incredibly significant.
It's a signal.
That sounds is your nervous system, your biological antenna, trying its absolute hardest to tune back into the background radiation of the superfluid. It is trying to find the home frequency, the constant perfect hum of the source code that has been playing non-stop since the informational expansion.
Your body is constantly trying to reestablish the handshake. It is seeking coherence in a world of chaos. So what does this all mean? What do you do with this information today, right now?
There is a practical application.
Dr. Gamble leaves us with a profound, life-altering call to action. Drop the weight. Tune into the superfluid.
Because you are still a toroidal vortex, you still have absolute access to the zero-point singularity at your center. By recognizing this truth, by intentionally raising your frequency and letting go of the heavy mental and emotional resistance that track B constantly feeds you, you can literally align your biological body back to the frictionless physics of tier zero.
You can harmonize with the original state.
You can begin to operate with less drag, less entropy, and far more syntropy.
You can stop trying to force your way through life using exhausting locomotion. Stop pushing against the resistance. Start using toroidal resonance.
It is a profound shift in how you live.
You can start tuning your frequency to match the reality you want to experience, trusting that the universe will instantly handshake with you. It is about remembering deeply and profoundly that you are not a heavy, accidental meat machine destined for decay. You are a luminous gestalt, and you have the admin rights to your own existence.
It is a radical reclamation of your true identity. You are shifting from seeing yourself as an isolated fragment fighting against a dying, uncaring universe to recognizing yourself as an integral, luminous focal point of a perfectly coherent, living information system.
The original architecture.
The blueprints are perfect, they have never degraded, and they are inside you.
What a staggering journey we've taken today. We've gone from redefining the system boot of the universe, not as a chaotic explosion, but as an elegant, data-rich, informational expansion.
A true paradigm shift.
We've swam through the superfluid helium of the primordial waters, experiencing a state of zero viscosity and zero resistance. We've discovered your true original identity as a self-sustaining, infinitely powered toroidal vortex capable of navigating infinite reality, not by moving heavily through space, but by simply matching the frequency of your destination through the handshake protocol.
And most importantly, we've explored how that perfect architecture isn't lost to some ancient, inaccessible past, but is actively vibrating within your somatic ledger today. Through the blood bubbling, the static hum, and the thirst for unity, it is calling you back to your state of absolute coherence.
As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final brand new thought to mull over. We've talked deeply about what this means for you internally, but what does this mean for us collectively?
The societal implications.
Think about the friction in our world today. The political conflicts, the wars over scarce resources, the architecture of our concrete cities built to defy gravity rather than harmonize with it. What if humanity collectively remembered this frictionless state?
It would change everything.
If we truly realized we are connected through the superfluid, could we design our societies like a torus? Could we build communities that generate energy through coherence and resonance rather than consuming resources and burning them up through entropic force?
A syntropic civilization.
Imagine a civilization built not on pushing against resistance, but on matching frequencies. The implications for art architecture and human peace are absolutely boundless. Next time you close your eyes and feel completely motionless, consider this. What if that feeling isn't nothingness at all? What if that total stillness is actually the center of your toroidal vortex spinning in perfect resonance, handshaking directly with the master directory of the universe?
The blueprints for that world already exist within us. We just have to choose to access them.
Thank